The night sky was calm over Earth. Stars twinkled softly, as they had for millions of years. But tonight was different. Tonight, something new had arrived in space. In a control room deep inside the United Nations Space Center, dozens of scientists stared at the giant screens. Strange signals were coming from deep space. Not random signals, but words. "Repeat that transmission," said Dr. Elena Morris, head of the Space Contact Division. A voice played again. It was clear, soft, and sounded like a young woman. But it wasn't human. "Please, come inside of me, human. I need your help." The room went silent. Some scientists looked at each other, confused. Others stared at the screen in shock. "A ship or a being?" One scientist whispered. "Is this real?" Another asked. Elena stood tall, trying to stay calm. "Where is the source of this message?" she asked. The radar officer turned to her, eyes wide. "It's coming from something in orbit. Something huge." Suddenly, a new image appeared on the main screen. A massive shape floated above Earth, shining in the sunlight. It wasn't a normal spaceship. It was alive. Its surface looked like smooth silver skin, pulsing gently as if it was breathing. "Ladies and gentlemen," Elena said quietly, "this is our first contact with an alien life form." As the world watched, the alien being stayed in orbit. It didn't attack. It didn't move much, but it kept sending the same message. "Please, come inside of me, human. Only you can help." News spread fast. People all over the world were curious and afraid. Was this creature dangerous, or was it really asking for help? The next day, a meeting was called. Important leaders, scientists, and astronauts sat in a large room. "We need to decide," Elena said. "Do we answer this call? Do we go inside this being?" The room filled with nervous whispers. Then, Commander Isaac Hale stood up. He was a tall man, with sharp eyes and a calm voice. One of Earth's best astronauts, known for his brave missions. "I'll do it," Isaac said. Everyone turned to him. "If she, or it, needs help, and it's not here to harm us, we should try to understand. Maybe this is a chance to make peace with something beyond our world." "But it could be dangerous," someone warned. Isaac nodded. "I know. But if we do nothing, we may lose the chance to learn." Elena smiled slightly. "Then it's decided. Commander Hale will go." 2 days later, Isaac stood in the launch bay, wearing a sleek white spacesuit. His helmet rested under his arm. He looked up at the big screen showing the alien in orbit. "Any more messages from her?" he asked. Elena appeared on the screen, speaking from the control room. "Just one." The message played again, softer this time. "I am Ilaria. Please, human, you are my only hope." Isaac looked thoughtful. "Ilaria. So she has a name." The engineers finished checking his gear. The small shuttle behind him was ready. Unlike other missions, this one was special. His ship was meant to dock with the alien being, not land on a planet or station. "Commander," Elena said, "are you sure you want to do this?" Isaac smiled. "Someone has to be the first to say hello." With that, he put on his helmet and stepped into the shuttle. As the shuttle lifted off, people all over the world watched on live broadcast. Kids in classrooms, workers on lunch breaks, families in living rooms, all staring at their screens, waiting to see what would happen. Inside the shuttle, Isaac sat quietly, checking his controls. His ship flew smoothly through the clouds, rising higher and higher, until the blue sky turned black, and the stars appeared. Soon, the alien being, Ilaria, came into view. She was enormous, bigger than any ship humans had ever built. Her surface glowed softly, and strange patterns of light moved across her body. Isaac took a deep breath. "Ilaria, this is Commander Isaac Hale of Earth. I'm coming to you now." To his surprise, her voice answered immediately, clear in his headset. "Thank you, human. I have been waiting for you." As he got closer, Part of her body opened like a door, revealing a glowing tunnel inside. "Control, I'm seeing an entrance," Isaac reported. Elena's voice came through. "Copy that, Commander. Proceed with caution." Isaac grinned. "Caution is my middle name." Slowly, the shuttle moved toward the opening. Light poured from the tunnel, bathing the shuttle in soft colors. As he entered, the tunnel gently closed behind him, and the shuttle floated inside Illyria's glowing chamber. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then Illyria spoke again, her voice soft but full of emotion. "Welcome, Isaac. I need you to help me live." Isaac stared in wonder at the strange world inside her. He didn't know what lay ahead, but one thing was clear: this was only the beginning. Commander Isaac Hale sat inside his small shuttle, looking around in amazement. He had never seen anything like this before. The walls of the alien ship Illyria glowed with soft, blue and purple light. It felt like being inside a living creature, but nothing seemed harmful. Everything pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. "Control, I have docked safely inside," Isaac said, speaking into his radio. Elena's voice answered from Earth. "Copy that, Commander. Stay alert. We're with you." Isaac smiled a little. He appreciated the support, but he knew that, right now, he was truly alone. Suddenly, Illyria's soft voice echoed around him. "Isaac, I am glad you are here. I was afraid I would be lost forever." Isaac looked around, unsure where the voice was coming from. "I'm here now, Illyria. But I don't understand. What happened to you? Why do you need my help?" There was a pause, as if Illyria was thinking. Then she said, "I was created long ago by a great race. But something has entered me, something dark and broken. It is making me sick. I cannot fix myself." Isaac frowned. "What is this thing inside you?" "I do not know," she answered. "It is like a shadow. It breaks my systems and makes my mind weak. I need a living being to go to my core and help me. My creators are gone. Only a human can do this now." Isaac took a deep breath. "All right, then let's see what I can do." The shuttle door opened slowly, and Isaac stepped out. His boots touched the soft floor, which felt like smooth rubber but warm like skin. Lights lit up around him, showing a path. "Follow the lights," Illyria said gently. "They will lead you to my inner chamber. But be careful. Some parts of me are sick. You may face dangers." "Dangers?" Isaac asked, raising an eyebrow. "My defenses are confused," Illyria explained. "They may think you are a threat." Isaac nodded. "Understood. Let's get going." He walked slowly down the glowing path. The walls shifted slightly, opening and closing like breathing lungs. Sometimes, small streams of glowing liquid ran along the walls, making soft, bubbling sounds. As he walked deeper, Isaac saw strange shapes in the walls, like frozen waves or muscles. He touched one carefully. It was soft and warm, and it moved slightly under his hand. "You really are alive," Isaac whispered. "Yes," Illyria answered softly. "I am alive, but I am not well." Isaac smiled to himself. "Don't worry. Humans are good at fixing things. I'll help you." After a while, the tunnel opened into a larger chamber. It was wide, like a great hall, with tall walls that pulsed with green and blue lights. Floating in the center of the room was a large orb, spinning slowly. It glowed with golden light. "What is that?" Isaac asked. "That is part of my heart," Illyria explained. "It keeps me alive, but it is not working properly." Isaac looked closer. Cracks ran through the orb, and dark veins pulsed around them. "Can you tell me how to fix it?" he asked. "I am not sure," Illyria said sadly. "But I know you must go deeper, to my core. The danger is stronger there, but so is the answer." Isaac looked at the cracked orb. "All right, take me to the core." Suddenly, the lights in the chamber flickered. "Warning," Illyria said quickly. "Something is coming." Something I cannot control. Isaac spun around, looking for danger. Out of the walls, shapes began to form. Creatures made of metal and glowing wires. They looked like guards, but their eyes glowed red. "My protectors," Illyria said, her voice filled with worry. "They think you are an enemy." The creatures stepped closer, long arms reaching out. Isaac took a step back. "Illyria, can you stop them?" "I will try," she said. The creatures stopped for a moment, like they were confused. "Go now," Illyria urged. "Hurry to the next chamber." Isaac ran toward the far side of the hall, following a glowing doorway that had opened just in time. As he passed through, the door closed behind him, cutting off the metal creatures. Breathing hard, Isaac leaned against the wall. "That was close," he said. "I'm sorry," Illyria whispered. "I do not wish to hurt you, but I am losing control." Isaac stood up, determination in his eyes. "Hey, don't worry. Like I said, humans are stubborn. I'm not giving up on you." Illyria's voice was soft, but Isaac could hear hope in it now. "Thank you, Isaac. You are braver than I imagined." Isaac smiled and started walking down the new path. "Let's keep going. Show me the way." As the path ahead glowed brighter, Isaac knew this was just the beginning of his adventure inside the living ship. And whatever was waiting at the core, he was ready to face it. Commander Isaac Hale walked carefully along the glowing path, deep inside the living ship Illyria. The walls around him were alive, soft, warm, and glowing in soft colors of blue and purple. But now, there was something different. The colors were fading. Some parts of the walls looked dark, almost black, like they were sick. "Illyria, are you all right?" Isaac asked, looking around. "I am weak, Isaac," Illyria said softly. "The shadow inside me is growing. It is hurting my systems. You must hurry." Isaac touched a dark patch on the wall. It felt cold and rough, not soft like before. "What is this shadow? Where did it come from?" Illyria was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "I do not know. It entered me long ago. And since then, I have been broken." Isaac nodded to himself. "Well, I'm here now. We'll figure this out." He kept moving forward. As he walked, the tunnel began to change. It got wider and taller. Strange lights flickered above him. Sometimes he saw shapes moving behind the walls, like shadows swimming in water. Suddenly, he heard a loud noise, like metal grinding against metal. "What was that?" Isaac asked, stopping. "My defenses," Illyria said. "They are waking up again. They think you are an enemy." Before Isaac could say anything, part of the wall opened, and two large machines stepped out. They looked like armored creatures, with long arms and glowing red eyes. Isaac raised his hands. "I'm not here to hurt Illyria," he said loudly. But the machines didn't listen. They raised their arms, and sharp, glowing blades came out. "Illyria, stop them," Isaac shouted. "I am trying," she said, her voice full of fear. The machines stepped closer. Isaac looked around quickly. He didn't have any weapons, only a small tool on his belt. As one of the machines swung its blade, Isaac jumped to the side, barely missing the strike. The blade hit the floor, sending sparks flying. "I can open a path for you," Illyria cried. "Do it," Isaac shouted as he dodged another attack. A door opened in the wall behind him, glowing bright white. Without thinking, Isaac ran through it, and the door closed fast, locking the machines out. Isaac leaned against the wall, breathing hard. "That was close," he said. "I am sorry, Isaac," Illyria whispered. "I am losing control of them." Isaac shook his head. "It's all right. You're doing your best. Just keep helping me find the way." "I will," she promised. Isaac kept walking. The path now led to a large open space. It looked like a garden, but strange. The floor was soft like grass, and tall glowing trees stretched up to a high ceiling. But the trees were not healthy. Some were dark and twisted, their light almost gone. "This used to be my memory garden," Ilaria said quietly. "Here, I kept the memories of my creators." Isaac looked around. "Your creators? What happened to them?" "I do not know," she said sadly. "They are gone now. I have been alone for so long." Isaac walked to one of the trees. Inside the glowing trunk, he could see moving images, like a hologram. He reached out and touched it. Suddenly, a picture appeared in the air. A tall, blue-skinned being with kind eyes. It was smiling, working on a machine that looked like part of Ilaria. "This is one of them?" Isaac asked. "Yes," Ilaria answered softly. "That is Lyran. He helped build me." Isaac watched the image for a moment. Then it faded, and the tree's light grew weaker. "I'm sorry, Ilaria," Isaac said gently. "Thank you, Isaac," she replied. "It helps to remember them." Isaac looked around the garden. "So where is your core? How do we get there?" Ilaria was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Beyond this garden, there is a great chamber. My heart is there. But the shadow is strongest there." Isaac nodded firmly. "Then that's where I need to go." "You are brave, Isaac," Ilaria said. "More than I hoped." Isaac smiled. "Humans are like that. We don't give up easy." As he walked toward the other end of the garden, another door opened. But this time, there was no bright light. Only darkness waited beyond. Isaac walked carefully through the dark tunnel. The walls around him were no longer glowing with soft colors. Instead, black veins crawled along them, pulsing with a strange, dim light. The air felt colder, and an eerie silence filled the space. "Ilaria, can you hear me?" Isaac asked. "Yes," Ilaria's voice replied, but it was weaker now, almost like she was struggling. "You are getting closer to my core, but the shadow is growing stronger here." Isaac tightened his grip on the small flashlight attached to his suit. The deeper he went, the more unnatural everything felt. The smooth, living walls of Ilaria were now rough and broken. It was as if something had corrupted this part of her body. "What exactly is this shadow?" he asked. "Is it some kind of disease?" "I do not know," Ilaria whispered. "It is something I do not understand. It is alive, but not like me. It takes and destroys, but does not create." Isaac frowned. "Sounds like a parasite." Before Ilaria could answer, a strange noise echoed through the tunnel. It was low at first, like a distant whisper, but then it grew into a deep, unsettling growl. Isaac stopped walking. He scanned the area with his flashlight, but all he could see were more of the dark veins spreading across the walls like roots. Then something moved ahead of him. A dark, shifting shape slithered along the wall. It was made of the same black veins, but it was alive. Isaac took a step back. "Ilaria, I think I found the problem." Ilaria's voice was filled with fear. "Isaac, be careful. That is the shadow." The dark shape twisted and turned, then suddenly lunged at him. Isaac reacted fast. He rolled to the side as the creature slammed into the ground where he had just been standing. It hissed, its body shifting like liquid darkness, forming sharp tendrils that reached for him. Isaac grabbed the small energy cutter from his belt and activated it. A bright blue blade of energy appeared. He swung it at the creature, cutting through part of its body. The creature let out a horrible screech and pulled back. "Isaac, the shadow is trying to take you," Ilaria warned. "It wants to spread through living beings." "Good to know," Isaac muttered as he stepped away. The shadow creature reformed itself, its tendrils twisting together. It lunged again, faster this time. Isaac didn't wait. He ran. The tunnel twisted and turned, and Isaac sprinted through the dark path, dodging the black veins that tried to grab him. The creature chased him, moving like a living storm of darkness. Ahead, he saw a doorway. A faint golden light glowed beyond it. "Isaac, that is my core chamber," Ilaria said urgently. "Then open it," Isaac shouted. The door slid open just as Isaac reached it. He jumped through, and the door slammed shut behind him. For a moment, everything was quiet. Isaac took a deep breath, his heart pounding. That thing, it's still out there, isn't it? Yes, Ilaria said, but now you are inside my core chamber. You are safe, for now. Isaac turned and finally saw it. Ilaria's heart. The chamber was massive, like the inside of a grand cathedral. In the center, floating above a glowing platform, was a huge crystal-like structure. It pulsed with golden light, but parts of it were cracked, and black veins were slowly crawling over it. Isaac walked closer. This is your heart. Yes, Ilaria said. It is the source of my life. But the shadow has infected it. If it is not stopped, I will die. Isaac looked at the cracks. The dark veins pulsed like they were alive, feeding on Ilaria's energy. How do I fix it? He asked. You must remove the shadow's roots, Ilaria said, but they will fight back. Isaac sighed. Of course they will. He stepped forward and reached out toward one of the dark veins. The moment his fingers touched it, the entire chamber shook. A horrible screech filled the air. The shadow was here. Isaac turned just in time to see the dark creature from before forcing its way through the door. It had grown larger, its tendrils stretching across the walls like living chains. Its glowing red eyes locked onto Isaac. You will not stop me, a deep, echoing voice said. Isaac froze. It can talk. I am not just a disease, the shadow said. I am the end of all things. Isaac gritted his teeth. Not today. You're not. The shadow lunged at him. Isaac jumped out of the way and swung his energy cutter, slicing through one of the tendrils. The creature screamed, but didn't stop. Ilaria's voice filled the chamber. Isaac, the core is opening. You must place your hands on it. Isaac dodged another attack and ran toward the heart. The crystal pulsed brighter, like it was calling to him. The shadow roared. No, you will not take her from me. Isaac leaped forward and slammed his hands onto the core. A bright golden light exploded from the crystal, filling the chamber. The shadow screamed in pain as the light burned through its dark form. Isaac held on as the energy surged through him. He felt something. Ilaria's essence, her memories, her existence. For a brief moment, he could feel her soul. And then, everything went white. When Isaac opened his eyes, everything was glowing with soft, golden light. He was still standing inside Ilaria's heart chamber, but it was no longer dark. The black veins were gone. The walls were smooth and bright again, just like when he first entered the ship. Ilaria. Isaac called, looking around. I am here, Isaac, her voice answered. But now, her voice was stronger, warmer, and filled with peace. Isaac smiled with relief. You're okay. Yes, Ilaria said gently. Thanks to you. You saved me. Isaac stepped away from the core. It was shining beautifully, with no cracks and no signs of the dark shadow. But what happened to the shadow? Isaac asked. Ilaria was quiet for a moment. Then she said, when you touched my core, you shared your energy with me. The shadow could not fight both of us. Together, we pushed it out. Isaac looked down at his hands. They still tingled from the strange power he had felt when he touched Ilaria's core. I've never felt anything like that before, he said softly. You are special, Isaac, Ilaria said. Your courage, your kindness, that gave me strength. Isaac chuckled. Guess humans are full of surprises, huh? Yes, Ilaria agreed. You are. Suddenly, the ground shook slightly. Isaac looked up quickly. What was that? I do not know, Ilaria replied. But I feel something is still wrong. Isaac frowned. You mean the shadow isn't gone? Ilaria's voice became serious. A part of it escaped. It is hiding, deep inside me. If it reaches my control center again, it may return stronger. Isaac sighed. So our job isn't finished yet. No, Ilaria said. But now we have a chance. Together. Isaac smiled. All right, then let's finish this. A new door opened in the chamber. Bright white light shone from beyond. This path will take you to my control center, Ilaria said. Isaac nodded. Lead the way. As Isaac walked through the door, he felt a sense of purpose. He had come to explore a strange alien ship, but now he was part of something bigger, a fight to save a living being. The new tunnel was bright and smooth. Unlike the dark paths before, this one felt alive and safe. As he walked, Ilaria spoke to him. Isaac, do you know why I called for a human to help me? Isaac raised an eyebrow. No. Why? Because humans are different, she said. You are not the strongest or the fastest, but you have something others do not. Hope. You never give up, even when things are hard. Isaac smiled softly. We do have a habit of being stubborn. Ilaria laughed gently. Yes, and that is why I believed you could save me. Isaac felt warm inside. It was strange to think that an alien ship could have feelings, but Ilaria was more than a ship. She was alive, and now she was his friend. Finally, the tunnel opened into a large circular room, Ilaria's control center. It was filled with glowing panels and floating symbols. But in the center, there was a dark sphere, a piece of the shadow. It pulsed like a beating heart, sending out waves of dark energy. There it is, Ilaria said quietly. The last piece. Isaac stepped forward, but the shadow sphere suddenly pulsed harder, and dark tendrils shot out toward him. Isaac jumped back. It's still strong. Yes, Ilaria said, but not stronger than us. Isaac looked at the sphere, thinking. Ilaria, can you give me access to your control panels? Yes, she replied. But what are you planning? I'm going to trap it, Isaac said. If I can use your power and mine together, we can lock it away forever. I trust you, Ilaria said. The panels around Isaac lit up, showing strange alien symbols. But somehow he could understand them. Maybe it was Ilaria helping him through their connection. Isaac reached out and began pressing the panels. Energy flowed from the walls and gathered around the dark sphere. The shadow screamed, sending out waves of darkness. The room shook as if it was trying to break free. I need more power, Ilaria, Isaac shouted. Take mine, she answered. Isaac felt a surge of energy flow into him. His hands glowed with golden light. He pointed them at the dark sphere, and a beam of light shot out, surrounding the shadow. The shadow screamed louder, but the light grew stronger, wrapping it tighter and tighter. You will not win, Isaac shouted. Finally, with one last flash of golden light, the shadow vanished, leaving behind only peace and silence. Isaac fell to his knees, breathing hard. It's gone, he said softly. Yes, Ilaria said, her voice full of joy. You did it, Isaac. You saved me. Isaac smiled, tired but happy. We did it together. The walls around them began to glow brighter. The ship was healing. Isaac, Ilaria said gently, thank you. Isaac stood up and looked around. What now? Now, Ilaria said, you are free to explore the stars, and I will always be by your side. Isaac chuckled. I never thought I'd have a living starship as a friend. And I never thought I'd meet a human like you, she replied warmly. Together, they stood in the glowing chamber, ready to face whatever adventures the future would bring. Isaac sat quietly inside Ilaria's control room. Everything around him was now shining with soft colors. Blue, green, and gold. Ilaria had healed from the shadow's attack. The walls no longer had black veins, and the strange floating symbols glowed like stars. So, Ilaria, Isaac said, looking around. What now? Where do we go? Ilaria's voice was calm, but filled with excitement. Isaac, now that I am healed, I can travel again. I can take you anywhere in the galaxy. Isaac smiled. Anywhere, huh? That sounds like an adventure. Suddenly, a soft chime echoed through the room. Strange symbols lit up in front of Isaac, floating in the air like holograms. "What's that?" Isaac asked, standing up. "A message," Ilaria replied. "But it is not from me. It is coming from deep space." Isaac's eyes widened. "Another ship?" "I am not sure," Ilaria said, her voice thoughtful. "But this message is very old and very important." Isaac walked closer to the symbols. As he reached out, they changed into words he could read. "To any living being who finds this message, beware, the shadow is not alone." Isaac's heart skipped a beat. "What does that mean?" Ilaria was silent for a moment. Then she said quietly, "It means there are more of them." Isaac frowned. "More shadows?" "Yes," Ilaria confirmed. "The shadow we fought. It was only a part of something much larger." Isaac took a deep breath. "So this isn't over?" "No," Ilaria agreed. "But now we know, and we can prepare." The message continued. "They move between stars, hiding in darkness. They destroy worlds and ships, taking life wherever they go. If you are reading this, you must fight. You must unite." Isaac stared at the glowing words. He felt a chill run down his spine. "Ilaria, who sent this message?" he asked softly. "I do not know," she said. "But whoever they were, they wanted to warn others. Maybe they fought the shadows too." Isaac nodded. "Then we have to listen. We can't let what happened to you happen to others." Ilaria's voice was firm. "I agree." For a moment, they were both quiet, thinking about what this could mean. Then Isaac smiled a little. "Well, it looks like our adventure isn't over yet." "No," Ilaria said with a soft laugh. "It has only just begun." Isaac walked over to a large window. Outside, the stars sparkled in the endless black sky. "Ilaria," Isaac said, "can you take us to where the message came from? Maybe we can find out more." "Yes," she answered. "I have already found its location. It is far, but we can get there." Isaac nodded. "Then let's go." "Are you ready, Isaac?" Ilaria asked gently. Isaac grinned. "Always." Slowly, Ilaria's engines began to hum. Soft blue light flowed along the walls as the ship prepared to jump into faster-than-light travel. Isaac sat down in the captain's chair, watching as the stars outside started to move. As the ship began to speed up, Ilaria spoke again. "Isaac, I want to thank you." Isaac looked surprised. "For what?" "For saving me," she said softly. "For being brave. For not giving up." Isaac smiled. "Well, that's what friends are for, right?" Ilaria's voice was warm. "Yes, friends." With a flash of light, Ilaria jumped into hyperspace, flying faster than anything Isaac had ever imagined. The stars turned into bright lines as they moved through space. Isaac leaned back, thinking about everything that had happened. He had found a living ship, fought a terrible shadow, and now he was on a mission to save others from the same danger. A part of him was scared of what they might find, but a bigger part of him was excited. He was ready to face the darkness, and he was not alone. Hours passed as they traveled through hyperspace. Then Ilaria's voice brought Isaac out of his thoughts. "Isaac, we are arriving." Isaac sat up straight. "What do you see?" The stars returned to normal as they came out of hyperspace, but ahead of them was something strange. A massive broken ship floated in space, larger than any ship Isaac had ever seen. It looked ancient, with pieces of metal drifting around it like a graveyard. "Ilaria, what is that?" Isaac asked, standing up. "I believe," she said quietly, "that is the ship that sent the message." Isaac's eyes widened. "It's huge." "Yes," Ilaria agreed, "but it is also dead." Isaac stared at the giant wreck. "Do you think there are any survivors?" "I do not know," Ilaria replied, "but we should find out." Isaac nodded firmly. "Let's go. Maybe we can learn more about the shadow and how to fight it." Ilaria gently moved closer to the ancient ship. Isaac watched through the window, wondering what secrets waited inside. But one thing was certain: their adventure was far from over. Isaac stood near the window as Ilaria slowly moved closer to the giant broken ship. The stars shone brightly around them, but the massive wreck floated in silence, like a ghost from the past. "Ilaria," Isaac whispered, "are you sure it's safe to get closer?" "I am scanning it now," Ilaria replied softly. "There are no signs of life, but I am picking up a strange signal. It's coming from deep inside the ship." Isaac's eyes narrowed. "Another message." "Maybe," Ilaria said, "or maybe something else." Isaac took a deep breath. "All right, let's check it out." A small door on Ilaria's side opened, and Isaac stepped into the airlock. He wore a light suit that Ilaria had given him, one that let him breathe and move safely in space. "Be careful, Isaac," Ilaria said gently. "I will," Isaac promised. With a hiss, the airlock opened, and Isaac floated out into the empty space between the ships. Slowly, he used small thrusters on his suit to fly toward the broken ship. As he got closer, he could see that the ship was covered in deep scars, like it had been in a terrible battle. Huge holes were torn in its sides, and pieces of metal floated everywhere. Finally, Isaac reached an opening large enough to enter. He carefully floated inside. "Ilaria, can you still hear me?" he asked through the radio. "Yes, Isaac, I am with you," she answered. Inside, the broken ship was dark and cold, but strange blue lights flickered here and there, as if part of the ship was still alive. Isaac moved through the empty halls, his flashlight cutting through the shadows. "It's so quiet here," he whispered. "Yes," Ilaria agreed. "This ship has not been touched for a long time." Suddenly, a small light blinked on Isaac's suit. "The signal is close," Ilaria said. "It's coming from a room ahead." Isaac floated carefully until he reached a large door. The door was half open, and he squeezed through. Inside, he found a control room, much like Ilaria's. But everything was broken. Screens were shattered. Wires hung from the ceiling. In the center of the room was a glowing sphere, cracked and weak. The ship's core. "Ilaria," Isaac said, "I think this is their core. But it's damaged." "I see it," Ilaria replied. "And Isaac, I think the message is coming from there." Isaac floated closer. As he reached out, the sphere glowed brighter, and a hologram appeared in front of him. It showed a tall alien with kind eyes and long arms. The alien began to speak in a soft voice. "If you are seeing this, it means we have failed. The shadow was too strong. It destroyed our people and took over our ships. We fought until the end, but we could not stop it." Isaac listened closely, his heart heavy. "But if you are hearing this, there is hope. You must find others. You must tell them about the shadow. Together, maybe you can fight what we could not." A hologram flickered. "Please, do not let the shadow win. You are our last hope." Then the image disappeared. Isaac stood still for a moment, feeling the weight of the message. "Ilaria, did you hear that?" he asked softly. "Yes," Ilaria said quietly. They knew the shadow would come for others. Isaac looked around at the broken ship. They fought to the end, but they still had hope. And now, it's up to us. Ilaria's voice was full of emotion. "You are right, Isaac." Isaac gently touched the damaged core. "I won't let their fight be forgotten." "Isaac," Ilaria said, "I have an idea. If you bring that core to me, I might be able to take its memory. We could share their message with other worlds." Isaac smiled. "Then let's do it." Carefully, he disconnected the core and floated back out of the ship, carrying it in his arms. When he reached Ilaria, her side opened, and he entered. "Welcome back, Isaac," she said warmly. "Thanks," he replied, placing the core in a special chamber. Ilaria began scanning it. "Yes, I can save their message. I can send it across the stars." Isaac looked out the window. at the silent, broken ship. Maybe now their warning will help others. Illyria's voice was soft. And maybe, with you, Isaac, we can find others to stand with us. Isaac turned to face the glowing panels. Yeah, I think we can. Where to now, Captain Isaac? Illyria asked playfully. Isaac smiled. Let's go find some friends. Illyria laughed gently. As you wish. With that, Illyria's engines roared to life. The stars outside began to move as they flew forward, faster and faster. Isaac sat back in the chair, feeling hopeful. The shadow was still out there, but now he knew he had a mission: to bring the message of hope and warning to every corner of the galaxy. As they traveled into the unknown, Isaac looked out at the endless sky and smiled. Because even in the darkest places, there was always light, and with Illyria by his side, he was ready to face whatever would come.